And welcome back to another CBB Talk with your boy, Will Dickinson. The regular season's over, and now it's time for my favorite episodes of the year, the Conference Awards. We did this last year, and this year, I think I made some improvements. It's the same awards, but this year I did add my all-conference teams, first, second, and a third team. Plus, I try and make it look a little better, run smoothly. This is the ACC, as you can see in the title. Some hard awards to pick. I looked, the ACC teams did come out today. The awards came out today, but I made this yesterday before they came out, so I didn't know what they were going to be. So yeah, let's get into this award. I'm going to be dropping, the next one I believe is going to be the Big 12, then the Big East, then probably, and then I'm going to do SEC and I'm doing SEC and Big Ten. I don't know which order that will be in. Probably no Mountain West. I'm not doing the Pac-12. Let's get into this, guys. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm not gonna be talking about games, but obviously ACC teams will come up. I'll be talking about your teams individually. And then we're gonna dive into this bracket as well for the ACC tournament, which is my favorite conference tournament. I grew up in ACC country in North Carolina and Virginia, so it's a conference I know and love. So let's get into it. And also, I'm trying to be wearing a team shirt from the conference. I'm rocking a UNC shirt. Shout to North Carolina. I got a big one this weekend, as everyone knows. All right, I'm gonna go share my screen and get into it. We're here, the award show, CBB Talk Conference Awards. We have the ACC. As you can see, we got the bracket on the right. We'll be talking about that after I finish up all my awards. So let's go. Let's get into the first award. As you guys remember this year, I give you 3 candidates, nominees. I think I have it as candidates. They're pretty much nominees. And then I reveal the winner. So yeah, let's get into it. The first award is the Freshman of the Year. This is the Zion Williamson Award. I named these last year. Last year's winner, as you can see in the bottom right, I will have that for each award. Last year's winner was Kyle Filipkowski out of Duke. Is he a tripper? I don't know. But let's get into your nominees. First up, Marcus Burton from Notre Dame. I added also if they won anything else, as you can see on this corner over there. Marcus Burton of Notre Dame. He leads the ACC in points per, or in rookies in points per game. I think he's averaging 17 on a not so good Notre Dame team. He's been the one bright spot for them. We'll see if he declares or if he stays or if he transfers, but he's been such a game changer over there for Notre Dame. Next up, Jared McCain from Duke, another third-team All-ACC player for me. Jared's been the man for Duke, and I think he's been damn near the best player of the ACC play, especially in the last month. One of the best three-point shooters in the whole conference. He's been a game changer. Had a very good game against Carolina in the loss. He's had big games. I believe that game against Florida State, he had over 30. He was the number 1 freshman coming into the ACC this year, and he's proved why. I expect him to be a one-and-done player, and he's just been so consistent for Duke, and he's been the best freshman on that team. And your third and final candidate is Bud Carrington of Pitt. What's his first real name? I don't know. It starts with a C, I'm pretty sure, but Bud Carrington. He's had, I believe, at least one triple double this season, maybe multiple. He's been really good, and this Pitt team can get into the NCAA tournament as they got the 4 seed in the ACC. They're gonna probably have to beat Wake and maybe have to beat Carolina to get in. Assuming it is Wake Forest that gets to that game. I really love the way Bub Carrington plays. He's a taller guard, can play the point, can play the 2. Pitt, I think they're underrated. I think I think they'll sneak into the NCAA tournament. Is in my opinion. I think they're going to end up getting on that right side. And he's been so good. Really 3 strong candidates here. I think you know who the 2 are between because you see 2 of them on third team All-ACC and one of them isn't. But all 3 good guys. And the thing about the ACC is they don't have an elite draft prospect this year, so we could see at least 2 of these guys back. Maybe Bub Carrington leaves, and I'm guessing Jared will. But now, who's going to win the 2024 Zion Williamson Award? Let's check it out. The winner is... I got Jared McCain of Duke. Yes, Marcus Burton did win the real ACC Freshman Rookie of the Year. But I lean Jared because he impacts winning more. For one of the best teams, the second best team in the ACC, Mr. Consistent. And I'm a huge fan of Jared also. I mean, I think a lot of people my age knew Jared coming into college because of his social media presence. Some people may like it, some people might not. I have no problem with what Jared does. He's a flamboyant player. He likes the fingernails painted, which maybe I'm not the biggest fan of, but he plays the game his own way. He doesn't care what other people think. He sings. He's great energy. He's a guy I would want on my team. And he wins my freshman year. But I have no problem if you think it's Marcus Burton. His numbers are definitely better, but Jared's a more efficient player on a better team that doesn't get as much minutes. I think he's proven to be a lottery pick in the NBA, and Duke goes back-to-back on this award. So shout out to Duke, and Jared McCain's your 2024 Zion Williamson Award winner for ACC Freshman of the Year. Next award. This is the Transfer of the Year, the Brady Manick Award for ACC Transfer of the Year. Last year's winner was Tyree Appleby from Wake Forest. Let's see who the nominees are. I'll get first nominee, Hunter Salas, first team All-ACC player for me. So I'm kind of giving you a preview to what my All-ACC teams will be. But this one, Hunter Salas from Wake Forest, the Gonzaga transfer this year, has come into Wake Forest, has been the number one option. I believe he's second or third in the ACC in points per game. He's been an absolute dog, has had big-time games, and he's going to have to be huge from this ACC tournament the next coming days. If they want to make the NCAA tournament. I really love Hunter Salas the way he plays. Gonzaga misses him, that's for sure. Your second nominee, DJ Horn of NC State. DJ Horn, the Arizona State transfer, another West Coast player going out east. Believe DJ Horn is actually from the North Carolina area. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. Kind of an under radar player. He's been amazing in ACC play. He's had huge games, and it's mostly because NC State hasn't really been on any people's radar, but he's been great. I have him as a second team All-ACC player. Shout out to DJ Horn. NC State had a guy in this list last year, and Jarkel Joyner, who didn't win. They're doing good jobs with transfers. I think Kevin Keats, though, might have to go over there in Raleigh, in my home city in Raleigh. Last up's Harrison Ingram, a guy who impacts winning a lot. We've seen him have big game against Duke in their home game, and another transfer, Cormac Ryan, had a 30-piece against Duke on Saturday. He's one of the best glue guys in the nation, really. He does the small things, an absolute dog out there on the court. Will hustle for rebounds, will play defense, will bring energy. Another West Coast transfer from Stanford, a guy who was really highly ranked coming into college. Wasn't great at Stanford. He's come to UNC, and I think he's found his own. He's been amazing also. So here it is. Those are your three nominees, but who's going to win the Brady Manick ACC Transfer of the Year? The winner is Hunter Salas. Not really shocking here. Wake Forest goes back-to-back. It's really what Steve Forbes and the Demon Deeks do. At first, it was Adonis Williams. Now, then it was Tyree Appleby. Now it's Hunter Salas. He brings in transfer guards, and they pop. He could be an NBA draft player. I don't know. And Gonzaga's missing him with their lack of guard play, but he's taken an extra step coming here to Winston-Salem and playing amazing basketball. Again, averages, I believe, almost 18 points a game, and we'll see if Wake can make the NCAA tournament. This could be a 30 in a row. They barely miss it. But if they do make it, it'll be a large part because of Hunter Salas. Our next award, the Coach of the Year, the Coach K Award, obviously, for the ACC Coach of the Year. Last year's winner was Pitt's Jeff Capel. And I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. None of the guys who were nominated last year for this award are nominated this year. That's kind of crazy. But let's go look at the nominees. First off is John Shire at Duke in year 2. John Shire's got this team as a top 10 level team, second in the ACC, but couldn't take down his rivals. And at the end of the day, that's the goal there at Duke, is to be one of the best in the nation. But he's led this team to another great year. Didn't live up to expectations as much as I thought they were going to be, but Honestly, this list is very, very weak. If no other, the top three I think was pretty easy for me. Number two, Hubert Davis, a team that was a top five, top 10, top 25 projected team. But we didn't know what they were going to be after missing the tournament last year. Final Four and missing a tournament. What was Hubert Davis like coming into the year was a big question. But he's proved them wrong. Leads his team to winning the ACC outright in conversations for a 1 seed. Hubert Davis has done an amazing job in year 3 at Carolina. And last, I got Brad Barnell. Clemson's the only team locked into the tournament in the ACC. They kind of struggled in ACC play, but a guy that comes in the year in the hot seat, has a great non-con, and is going to get the Tigers into the NCAA tournament once again. A good year for Clemson and Brad Brownell. But this award could have been different maybe if Duke won, but I think we know who this is. Coach K's Coach of the Year for ACC Coach of the Year goes to Hubert Davis. What else do I have to say? He's done an amazing job. What a turnaround season from Carolina. Many questions were circling here. If Hubert Davis was the answer after Roy Williams, and I think he shut down the skeptics. Another great year for Carolina. This team has national champion hopes, and they're realistic. I'll say that they are realistic. UNC can go far in the NCAA tournament. Let's go look at the next award. The Player of the Year, the big award, the award where you want to win because you're the best player in your conference. The Ralph Sampson Award here. Last year's winner was Isaiah Wong from Miami. I think this is a strong year for that award. But I was looking back and I was like, dude, Isaiah Wong won this award? I was like, it was like Tyrese Appleby, Isaiah Wong, and I don't even remember who the third guy was. It was a weak year in the ACC last year, if I'm being honest. It was a weak year. But this candidate's a much stronger. Let's go take a look at them. The first one is Kyle Flipkowski. Last year's freshman year, this year, first team All-ACC. A guy who had a very, very good non-con, had high expectations coming into the year, and he's lived up to them. Has it come with its controversial moments? No doubt. The court storm, the tripping. I don't think he's a fan favorite right now, but no one can deny how good he's been. He's been the best player on Duke for most of the season. And if Duke wants to go far in the tournament, Flip is going to have to be an All-American player, and he's been that for most of the year. Second is PJ Hall from Clemson. PJ Hall is the best player in Clemson by a mile. He's the reason they're that good. What a dominant force. He can stretch the court. He can play big. He's not afraid to talk shit and get in your face. He's a massive energy. I love watching PJ Hall play. He was very good last year, and he's only got better this year. PJ Hall and Clemson, let's see how much damage they can do in this ACC tournament and get hot going into the NCAA tournament, because of recent they have been amazing, but I really do like Clemson, and I think they can win a game or two in the NCAA tournament, and PJ Hall is the main reason because of that. And your final nominee is RJ Davis. RJ Davis, obviously, him and Caleb Love were the backcourt mates at Carolina for 3 years. And this year was the year where, Caleb Love left to go to Arizona, which was the right move. It was a win-win scenario, but they needed him to step up, and he's done that and more. He leads the conference in points per game. He averages, I believe, over 21 a game. He's been the man. He's had a 40-point performance. He's been there every time they need him. And even in their Duke games where he's not having a great shooting night, he still brings facilitating, ball handling to the table. RJ Davis has just been one of the best players in the country, flat out, and he'll be a first-team All-American. So I think you know where this award's going to. And your Ralph Sampson Award winner for ACC Player of the Year goes to RJ Davis. Not really a surprise here. Just has been the man all year. It's great to see kind of a breakout from RJ Davis. He took over point guard roles a couple years ago, maybe a year or two ago, from Caleb Love, and now he's turned himself into a North Carolina legend. And I'm trying to think. RJ Davis could become even more of a legend over this next month if he goes and wins a national championship. Expectations are high in Chapel Hill, and RJ Davis is the guy who's going to lead them, to the promised land if they do. he's just such a great shooter, such a good player. He makes difficult shots. And this is another year where a guard is going to win ACC Player of the Year. So it's, shout to the guards, man, for doing their thing. And no, this award was going to no one else but RJ Davis. But let's get into these All-American teams, because this was really the hardest thing to come up with. The awards, I kind of can think who's going to win each award before I make them. It's tougher to come up with the All-American teams, because once you get past that first team, it's really hard to distinguish between the second and third teams. But I took a look because I made these yesterday before they came out, so I didn't know what the ACC voters were going to do. Very similar. I think my first team was the exact same, and my second team and third team had 2 players in switched, and then I had 1 player not in my third team compared to. So I pretty much had 14 out of the 15 guys were on one of those 3 teams for me, and then only 2 switches. So pretty accurate for me. Oh, whoops, my keyboard's not plugged in. Let's take a look. Let's go through this first team. We're not going to talk about, we've talked about most of these players. RJ Davis, obvious first team. He was my player of the year. Hunter Salas, transfer of the year. Always going to be a first team player. My first team had the same 5 players on it as the real first team. Blake Hinson's led this team to Pitt to the 4th seed in the ACC tournament. He's had massive performances against Virginia, against Duke. He's been the guy. He averages, I think he's second in the conference in points per game at 18. And if Pitt's going to make the tournament, Blake Hinson's a main reason because of that. And he's been such a big shooter with big time performances. Kyle Flipkowski of Duke is a first team player for me. And then PJ Hall, all those guys were on the regular first team for the ACC. My second team, Reese Beekman of Virginia. He's really the only consistent piece on that team. One of the best. He won ACC Defensive Player of the Year, which I don't have a Defensive Player of the Year because I do a National Defense Player of the Year. But Reese Beekman won it for back-to-back years. He's a facilitator, the main scorer. He does everything for that Virginia team, who got 3rd in the ACC. Judah Mintz, second team. I mean, Judah Mintz is just a great player. He scores the ball really well. I want to see Judah Mintz stay in college one more year. If it's at Syracuse, if it's somewhere else, maybe he'll go to the draft because he has a lot of great potential. And I think another year in college could help for him, but we'll see. And Syracuse, I think Syracuse can make a run. They got to go beat Carolina and maybe make the championship game. But I really like Judah Mintz, and I was big on Syracuse this year, and they just didn't live up to my expectations. DJ Horn was the guy who was on 3rd team in the real one. But I have him on 2nd team. I've seen this guy play for NC State and carry this team night in, night out. And no, sometimes it might not result in wins, but DJ Horn's still the guy over there. And I really like the way he plays. He scores the ball just in an amazing clip. Is really just the main shot creator over there, and he has to carry a load every night. Norchad O'Meara. His stats are insane. I mean, obviously Miami's probably going to win. I have a most disappointing team award. Miami's going to be in that running, but he hasn't been disappointing at all. Believe he's over in 17 points per game, damn near 10 rebounds. Just a beast. Was he my dog of the year last year? He might have been my dog. I think he was my dog of the year, which is a guy just you don't want to run into on the court. Norchad is that dude in Miami. Just bad year for Miami, but it looks like Jim Larinaga will be back. Armando Bacot. I mean, UNC's the best team, and he's their second best player. A guy who has been All-ACC first team now. I think this is twice. This year's on the 2nd team. Just an amazing career for Armando. And he's going out with a 2nd team, which you might not expect it preseason, but a 2nd team is still really good. And he's had big time performances when needed to, and he's taken a step back this year, but who cares? They're winning. My 3rd team was very tough. Jeremy Roach was a 3rd team player for me. He was also a 3rd team in the real ACC. He's been 2nd or 3rd best player on this team. It depends on the night. He had a bad game against Carolina, but Jeremy Roach is the senior, the leader on this team. He's been very, very mostly consistent. He's had big time performances, and sometimes he's the only guard you can trust out there on the court for Duke. Sean Badula, I mean, he's the man. He leads the ACC, 2nd in the ACC in assists, I believe, and I think he's like 1st in minutes. And Virginia Tech's a respectable team. Had to have him on this list. I believe he's only a sophomore. Maybe he's a junior, but it doesn't matter. Like he has a very bright future ahead of him. Can shoot the pill off the ball as well. Jared was the only player. He was on my third team, not on the real ACC's third team. I can't remember who they had in ahead of him. I can't remember. They didn't have. I was thinking more of Joe Girard. Joe Girard also wasn't on this list. He wasn't on the ACC ones either. I thought that's who they would have. I can't remember. They had Harrison Ingram over Jared McCain. I can understand having three AC. I have three Duke players, so I can understand why having three UNC players. But I like Jared a little bit more. I'm obviously my ACC freshman year couldn't lead him off either with Marcus Burton, just because they don't have a lot of team success. His numbers are amazing. And then Quentin Post, he was the guy on the second team instead of DJ Horn. NC State's not that much better than BC, but they are. But he's done amazing, the big. And we'll see him on tomorrow play, and maybe he can have a big time game. But I had to give him respect, even though their team isn't amazing. And let's go dive into this bracket before we get out of here. Let's take a look at this bracket that's right below me. The 1 seed UNC, the 2 seed Duke, not surprising there. Virginia gets the 3 seed, man. They've been sucking recently. And the 4 seed Pitt. So the ACC's really down. I'm going to give you my quick bracket predictions. So I'm going to have Notre Dame or Georgia Tech. Fuck it. Georgia Tech. They've won some good games this year. I'm going to go NC State. I'm going to go Miami over BC. Miami probably going to let me down again. Then I'm going to take Tech over Florida State. I like Virginia Tech. Don't really think it matters, but I'm going to go Virginia Tech. Then we would have Georgia Tech versus Wake. I'm taking Wake. Wake must-win game. They're going to take that. They're going to take that dub. And then we got NC State, Syracuse, giving Cuse. And then Miami, Clemson. I'm taking all chalk there. I'm a loser, I know. And then we would have UNC versus Virginia Tech. Could be interesting. But UNC is going to need to start winning some games. They want that 1 seed. Are going to keep winning games. I'm going to take the Tar Heels to move to the semifinals. Pitt versus Wake. That would be a huge game. Loser would be eliminated from the tournament. Winner would be real close. I think Wake's going to ride that win and get it done against Pitt. But if Pitt wins, I think they'd be on the right side of the tournament. I really do. But give me Wake over Pitt, and they'll move to the semifinals. Syracuse, Duke could be interesting. I'm going to take Duke just because they have more talent. They're going to be they're going to be well rested, and they're going to want to get that championship. Clemson versus Virginia. Clemson, easy. Virginia, as a Virginia guy, I'm not a Virginia fan, but as a Virginia guy, I know Virginia. They play good in ACC tournament, so usually I'm just going to take Clemson. I think they're better. And then I think Virginia be on the wrong. I think Virginia needs to win that game, and then if they're losing, they're gonna be sweating. They're gonna be really sweating on Selection Sunday. Clemson versus Duke in the semifinal. I'm taking Duke narrowly. Taking Duke. I think that's gonna be a really good one. And I'll take UNC to beat Wake. That leaves Wake very close to the bubble, probably out. And if that scenario happens, man, it might be a 3-bid ACC because Pitt loses, Wake doesn't make a championship, and Virginia loses. That would be really close. I think they'd put Virginia still in that scenario. And then we got UNC versus Duke in the championship. And I'll take Duke to take it out. It's hard to be a team 3 times in a row. So I'm going to take Duke to be my ACC champion. Man, I'm going to say Duke ends up being, if they win the ACC, I think they'll still be a 3, but maybe gets into a 2. I think UNC would be a 2. And then Clemson would be, let's say Clemson gets the semi. I think Clemson would be a 5 or 6. And then I would say Virginia gets in the first 4, so they would have to go play in Dayton. That's my prediction. Wake and Pitt barely miss if my prediction happens. So, this is my first award show. More coming. So I'm going to post the ACC. Then I think I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm going to record a Big 12 after this one. I don't know when I'm posting that. I'll post the ACC now. Maybe post the Big 12 later at night, and then I'll post the Big East in the morning. Yeah, post Big East in the morning, and then I'll record the SEC and Big 10 tomorrow and post it tomorrow. That's the plan. It's the most chaotic time of the year for me, but it's also the best time. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're ACC fans, let me know in the comments who you got winning the ACC tournament. Hope you enjoy my awards, and I'll see you next time for the Big 12.